Well, guys, it's been a while since I made a video about coffee talk and coffee enemas. So, from where I sit, I've really seen a lot of people come around to the thinking that it's possible a lot of their health issues, health concerns have been related to parasitic problems that have gone unnoticed, especially by their professional healthcare provider. Um, as I may have said in some of my other videos, it's been so long since I looked at the other parts of this series or listened to it. There's just not enough information out there or tests out there for a lot of these different types of unknown parasites. And in particular, the ropeworm parasite. I've been doing pulse methods of parasite detox since I first learned in January of this year, which is 2018, and it's currently mid-October, that I had a lot of parasites. And I have no idea how people can deny that some of these things I've passed are not parasites. Like, it's crazy. And some of the books I've read recently, like Scott Webb's The Meaning of Life and Intestinal Parasites, which I only read a sample, which was still amazing and phenomenal read, and I should really finish that and buy that or find it somewhere in a hard print because it's fantastically done. It's done fantastic. I love it. It's hilarious, and I can relate to this guy a whole lot because of the skepticism around people and parasites, skepticism around the intestinal parasite, the ropeworm, etc. He doesn't really mention ropeworm parasites by name or anything, but he talks about how it's widespread because he's been a colon hydrotherapist for 20 years, and he says he's seen some crazy stuff come out of people, and he thinks they're parasites, and he was never really inclined to believe so until the many, many years of this practice, basically. But anyways, so for me, I haven't really done coffee enemas every single day for a couple of months, but I'm getting back into doing them pretty regularly. Um, Back to back, I hear is always best to do at least 2 colon cleanses. Um, and I really have avoided it because of several reasons. Because as I have continually reduced my parasitic load and seen myself pass 2 footers, 3 footers, 1 footers that are like 1 inch around, or a 2 footer that's like 1.5, 2 inches around. Like, I've got photos of this stuff, and I'll probably make another graphic video to go with all the other videos on my channel, but as I've seen all this stuff come out of me, and as I keep my lower intestinal tract cleaned out, I have noticed an increase in pain because I know there's still a couple of large ones that are still feeding on me, and it's not comfortable. It's not an easy thing to deal with. And for me, I've noticed kind of dealing with that. Some of the best things that have helped me have been pain creams and a Narian gel cream, which I just did a review of. That's on my some of my recent videos. But besides that, that only works for so long. It's like they really can't stand the taste of that for a brief amount of time, but after a while it has zero effect, so you really got to change things up. I've increased taking garlic supplements for me as well, and I've also increased taking serapeptase. I take cat's claw right now. I've also I take about 3 grams of cat's claw because I've read that can really help eliminate it and stuff. And here's another thing. So people talk about when they do enemas of various sorts, whether that's coffee enemas or lemon or ACV or something, that they'll get a cramp in various places. And in my experience, in my opinion, I don't think they're cramping. It's not actual cramps. I mean, maybe you could be feeling the purge of liver stones and gallstones. I believe that totally. But other times, if it's not coming from that right underneath your rib cage area, or right side of your under rib cage, then it's probably not your liver gallbladder. It's probably a parasite. So, I mean, I've done lemon juice, lime juice enemas where lemons, maybe 3 lemons, and I found that I've done 3 to 6 lemons actually, and then I've also tried to retain those for an hour as Gubarev suggested. And sometimes I've only been able to do that maybe 1, 2, or 3 times, something, not a ton of times. But I've noticed when I did that, I could feel a lot of discomfort as I relieve my bowels. And if I make sure that I kind of squeeze my anus in a way to like tighten it to make sure that muscle's being flexed, that it greatly reduces. And now I've also found that if I just apply coconut oil, then that also really relieves the issues and stuff quickly. And I mean, there were days where I was in so much pain because I did a 7-day fast, which I kind of talk about in my fasting video I did recently. But I was in a lot of pain just because the parasite was not really feeding on any actual food from my bowels and instead just feeding directly on my blood, which the adult phase parasites, it's very normal. It's exactly what they do. That's their preferred way to sap you of your nutrients and get to the table first, that it's eating off of your table kind of deal. But anyways, yeah, recently I've noticed that coconut oil, whether I just cover it on my skin entirely as much as possible, whether that's right after a bath or whenever or whatever, has been the most beneficial for me. And even if I'm just doing regular work around the house or something and I can feel that little bit of pain or discomfort, then a little bit of coconut oil can really help, and it stops it pretty quickly. So about the coffee enemas, there's a lot of them out there to choose from. The H.A. Wilson enema coffee is one that I'm probably most familiar with because it's been the most cost effective for me to choose, and I've gotten it on Amazon. And but it's still, I still go through it kind of quickly. So for me, I've used various different ones. Like locally, I can buy some Chameleon Daybreaker coffee, which is fantastic. It's a pretty light roast, and I like to brew it regularly for drinking, and it works pretty well for enema coffee because it's a lighter roast. But it's interesting because I've read and seen YouTube channels of people talking about like Trader Joe's Sumatra, which Sumatra notoriously is a dark roasted coffee. But I've seen YouTube channels of people just swearing by that coffee, that they've seen and extracted way more stuff using that than a lot of the other coffees that are out there. And that's actually an even cheaper coffee option. And you know, some of it comes pre-ground. I think the Sumatra is always pre-ground from Trader Joe's, but I don't know. There's so many different SKUs at Trader Joe's and your local Trader Joe's, even if you don't even have one, but maybe they have the ground or whatever. But I never used that one. I've used other ones from like Costco, Rainforest, just a medium roast. I made sure it was organic. That's probably the main thing I look for, is an organic one. 3 heaping tablespoons. Let it cook in my Salad Master dish set or cookware for 15 to 20 minutes, because that's a pressure cooker. So I could actually have a really good batch in about 15 minutes or maybe 20. But yeah, never throw it in hot, right? You always let it cool to around, I prefer around anywhere from 100 to 107 degrees. And a lot of people have different opinions on that as well. But yeah, after a while of doing it so consistently, I had such low iron. I could noticeably see that my skin was whiter and I was colder. And that was during the time when my wife was very pregnant with our 3rd child that she had recently, and he's about 2 months old now, actually. Very healthy, wonderful story. But anyways, she was roasting all the time, and I was freezing all the time, which was so unusual for me because I was never somebody to be cold. Never had low iron before in my life, never dealt with it. So I took a break from doing it and did all these other methods, kind of like I just talked about. And it was pretty difficult, man. So now that I know more strategies to help relieve my pain with those different creams and rubs, and colloidal silver topical creams on my stomach, I've noticed have helped a ton. MSM has helped a ton. I did a video about that recently, about how 10,000 milligrams daily for 3 or 4 weeks would really help eliminate parasites. But man, it's crazy that coffee enemas really started this road towards better health for me, and I had naturopathic doctor friend and somebody that I went and saw all the time, actually, and I still would make regular appointments with this guy. Basically, he suggested a long time ago I should probably be doing enemas of some sort, coffee enemas or water at least. And I really wonder how much farther ahead, if I would have started back then, I would be today. And if you're out there on the fence, or if you've never done anything like that, or if you're a macho man, let me tell you, I'm a macho man. I got a great beard. I got, I freaking muscle tones, strong man. You really should. It's for your health. If you want to be around for your family, if you want to set a good example for other people out there for health, then for us guys, I think we really got to get over this and realize that this was a normal part of culture for almost every single civilization that has ever come before us, and even for this civilization, our culture, up until recent years. And it's ludicrous to me that there's so many people out there that are like, oh, there's absolutely no reason, no need to do any colon hydrotherapies or anything like that. And it's like, yeah, I get it. You do you. And I'm not trying to force anybody to do anything. I'm just sharing my opinion here, and these are always just suggestions. In the beginning, I found it extremely difficult. I had no idea, no way that I would ever be able to actually put something in there in order to clean my colon on my own. But I managed, and am very grateful for my health journey and how it has improved my skin quality overall, and digestive health for certain, and my ability to detox for certain. So there's not a lot of help coming from a lot of the pharmaceuticals out there. I mean, I don't believe in them. Maybe they help some people. And, some people come to me in the mindset of, do any of these natural things work? And it's like, in my opinion, they really do. But belief factors into a lot of our healing. If you don't believe you're going to heal, if you don't believe you're going to get better, you may not. And it's difficult. It's definitely a challenge. Anyways, guys, I guess I'm winding down here. Not really too much else to say on this, but I wanted to give that little bit of an update. Talk about how I'm getting back into it, and I'm still eliminating liver stones. I haven't eliminated as many parasites lately because I think my load is quite low now. Some days it amazes me that I flush out tons of stuff. Along this journey, actually, there was a time period where I noticed there was a lot of eggs that were coming out, but now I don't see that as often. I believe that's because I'm continually intaking larger amounts of clove, and clove is the real key to maintaining and keeping that parasite load low, because it's like one of the only things I think we know of as an herb that can prevent eggs from maturing, basically. It only takes eggs like 36 hours to mature into the next phase. So if you actually have not had a bowel movement in 36 hours, then most likely you've got some parasites that just hatched. So every 2 or 3 days, you should probably be taking cloves in some manner, either making a tea, or for me, I've noticed that if I chew up the clove and keep it under my tongue, then that can really help overall reduce my stress as well, and reduce pain associated with this parasite. And if you can't stand the clove, what I've also done is put other aromatic spices in my mouth that I do like, such as cardamom. I have put cardamom and clove under my tongue in somewhat large amounts, 2 or 3 of those each, and chew on them, put them under my tongue. And I always wonder if people look at me and think I'm doing dip or something, but nobody ever asks and nobody ever says anything. It's not dip. It's anti-parasitic. And if anybody has digestive issues such as heartburn, which I don't have much anymore, it could have been related to parasite load as well for me. But those aromatic spices underneath your tongue or just chewing on them in your mouth can also reduce overall acid reflux for me. That's what my experience was, simply because those things stimulate bile secretions in a large way. So for me, I love that. I've done that. It's great. Really appreciate it. And yeah, guys, I guess this is about all I have to say for today. I wanted to do this update for a little while. And stay healthy, guys. Check out my other videos on this playlist here. Hopefully you're seeing it on the Coffee Talk Coffee Enemas playlist. But anyways, guys, stay healthy. Leave comments, questions. I'm very grateful for all you guys watching these videos and how I've been able to interact with each one of you and get back to you and answer your questions. I've got a phone number in the description now for my business line. If you guys want to set up a consult, feel free to give me a call. We'll see when we can work that out, and I can inform you of the pricing and stuff like that, give you more personalized care and suggestions. Stay healthy, guys.